Good evening everyone and welcome back to the Fergie Way with me, Teach FM. In tonight's episode, we have got a massive game in Europe. It's once again we play Juventus. Now, we played them twice last season. We did manage to walk out, I think it was 5-1 across aggregate when we got them in the knockout phases. And can we repeat that feat this year? There's only one way to find out. Run the intro. So first things first, guys, if you watched yesterday's episode, of course you will know there has been no games in between. We had the Liverpool fixture lining up right alongside the Juventus fixture. We had to live-con both games. We do want to run them on extended, so we keep it to one game an episode. So yeah, no games to look at, but there has been just a little bit of news. We had a clean sweep in the monthly awards. Juan Mata picked up Player of the Month. We had Marcus Rashford picking up Young Player of the Month, with Sanchez coming second. And then we won Manager of the Month yet again. Something we're getting used to. We are doing quite well in the league, although the results aren't really the same as they have been in the past. But nonetheless, all is good. So as I said in the last episode, because we can kill a little bit of time before we get stuck into the live com at Juventus, we're going to take a quick look at the league, we'll take a quick look at Europe, and just a general nose over the squad, just to see how everybody's getting on. So we currently sit atop of the Premier League on 16 points, with West Ham, of all teams, sat in second, City third, Tottenham fourth, and West Brom fifth. Probably what's a little bit surprising would be Arsenal are sat in 10th. Now, bearing in mind, Arsenal are the type of team that have pushed us from the first season of this series. And they've always done quite well. So maybe they're going to get better, you would hope. Newcastle mixing it up in 6th, which is something they've done since they come back into the Premier League. And maybe what's a little bit of a shame, I always check out, see how they're doing, is Everton are sat down in the relegation places. Everton are just that sort of cursed team, I've mentioned it before. They went down, they have managed to come back up, but I just don't know what's going wrong with the club. So our dominance in the Premier League is reflected in the average rating. We are carrying the top 3 spaces there, with Juan Mata at the top on an 8.57. Alaba and Memphis also featuring. Memphis picking up 5 goals, however he did that over a couple of games and has not really done a right lot since. Icardi is sit at the top of the league, which is strange considering Arsenal has sat so low. They have played 6 games, won 3 and lost 3. So a bit out of sorts for them, I would have thought. Mata, unsurprisingly, joint top in the assist with 3. And also managing to be top of the player of the match, which is all good. So, as I say, it was just a quick nose over the league, just to see where we're up to more than anything. Then we move on to the Champions League. Now, we know we've only played one game. Of course, we've only got a point. And Juventus won their first one. They're sat at the top of our group. So we're not really going to look too closely at the groups just for now. The groups are something we'll look at a little bit later on, a bit when there's more games being played, I suppose. But I did just want to check out the players. Now, Aguero's second here in the goal-scoring charts, but I know City had to go through the qualifying phases, so that's why that's happened. But look at these average ratings from Gareth Bale and Harry Kane, and Suarez 9.5, 9.5, 9.6, obviously based on the fact that they had tremendous first games, but nonetheless, they're going to be coming down, you would hope. Our players not featuring because we did play the youngsters and we managed a measly 0-0 draw with Legia Warsaw. And then lastly, one thing that I wanted to do just so we could see a little bit more of what's going on is just check out how well the players are doing. So we'll put the average rating to the top and we can see there's a few people here who we need not worry about. Players that might be bothering me is if we flip this up the other way and we'll put the low average ratings at the top. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now he has only had 3 starts and 2 appearances off the bench. Currently running a 6.62. I think Zlatan's currently on an 11-game streak of not scoring. Very unlike him, but of course he has just been out for 4 to 5 months with an injury. So I think he's due maybe a little bit of a conversation. And what I want to try and do is try and encourage him to get back to scoring. So we've gone to criticise recent performances, but you can use that to your advantage. So if we look here, I'm going to say to him, I know you haven't scored many recently, but I have every faith in you to return to scoring ways. At which point he's gone up to superb and he's shown that, thanks boss, with your support I'll start banging them in soon. Now, that's just one of those little morale boosting things that I like to do with a player when they're not quite performing. So hopefully, if he features in the Juventus game or the game thereafter, he'll go in there with a little bit more vigour and a little bit more effort to try and bag himself a goal. Because one thing's for sure with Ibrahimovic, I'm pretty sure when he does grab that first one, he'll be fine thereafter. He'll be absolutely banging them in. So a couple of other people you might sort of have slight concern with. Of course, Angel Gomez is only young, so we can't really slate him for having bad games. I mean, the lad's 17 years old, so we're not going to worry about him. However, if you look at Fosu Mensah and Marcus Rashford and Renato Sanchez playing just over a 7 rating now, That's not bad because we're doing so well in the league. All you have to do is turn up, I think, generally speaking. But these are 3 players that I will keep an eye on in the coming games. And I'm not going to give them a kick in just yet. But if they're still running at very low 7s after, say, 3 or 4 games from now, they will also have to come into the office just while I have a quick word with them. So there we go. It's just a quick run through the squad. The sort of thing I'll often do off camera. Have a word with a couple of the players, sort out what's what, who's playing. I'll praise where it needs it and I'll sort of criticise where it needs it. I do it a lot based on training as well, but that's another story. We'll maybe come to that if we're ever at the point where I'm recording and I get my little training segment come up in the news. I'll show you what I mean, but I can boost morale by both criticising and praising training levels. It helps. It's all these little things help with morale, which in turn keep the team at their absolute best. So what we'll do now is we will move on to the live com of the day. It is, of course, against Juventus. So I'll see you on match day. So it's match day at Old Trafford. We are entertaining Juventus today, of course. Having played them twice last season, our record is pretty good against them. They do, however, have a devastatingly good team. The press are seeing it as a draw, but the bookies are favouring us being the home team. Our key man's Pogba, and unsurprisingly, their key man is a summer transfer target of mine, Paulo Dybala. This could get interesting. So as we move into the team selection, guys, we will look at our team first, being the home team. That's De Gea in net, Alaba, Bailly, Smalling and Saliba. We have Pogba, Neves and Sanchez in the middle, with Mata as a trequartista, and following the conversation, we have started Zlatan Ibrahimovic with Martial ahead of him. If we look at Juventus, there's Rajkovic in net, Rugana, Bonucci, Benassia. Then they have Sandro Pereira Quadrado, Sami Khedira, Miralem Pjanic in the middle, Dybala and Higuain up top. Now, they've used the same formation they played against us last season. And I'll be honest, they weren't able to do anything with it last season. But my pursuit of Dybala just feels like it's going to come back and bite me. The fact he wasn't going to move, and he's probably going to try and impress me while he's here. He didn't do anything last year. I've just got that sneaky feeling. So we'll move into Roy Keane and look at him, the crazy bastard. Who does he want to harm today? And it seems to be not quite a little bit of everybody. I'm not going to bother with Sami Khedira because that lad can take a tackle. But we will look at Quadrado for a start. And we'll have that hard tackling as well. So on that note, we will move on to the team talk. And we should challenge them to pick up where they left off. I totally agree, Roy. Because we finished the last game relatively strongly. So I am going to say to Zlatan that I have faith. That I have faith in him to manage to grab himself a goal. And maybe today's the day. It's on the big stage. It's in Europe. Zlatan's a big game player. So with a little bit of luck, he'll do it. He really will. So we move into the start of the game then, and we are shooting from left to right. So we will be finishing up in the Stretford end, which is the way it should always be at Old Trafford. But we've got Dybala on the ball and Khedira. It is the first highlight. I'm not expecting too much, but they can be dangerous today, Juventus. They've got such a strong team as Pogba over a free kick, puts it over the bar, and Rajkovic. It's funny how they've not got Buffon. I wonder what's gone on there. I mean, Buffon may very well have retired now. I mean, you got to bear in mind that I'm in the 3rd season, so it wouldn't come as a surprise. So it's Pogba on the ball now. Out to Martial. Martial's drifted out to the left. Ruben Neves to Pogba. Sanchez. Sanchez to Ibrahimovic. Sanchez again. Ibra. Saliba. It's cleared out, although Neves intercepts it. Alaba now will try and get down the left wing. No, plays an early ball. Smack. Oh! Sanchez with a cracker from the edge of the area. I really thought it was in for a second, but a great save by Rajkovic, I think is his name, the Juventus goalkeeper. So it's cleared out to Sidibe now. Smalling, Mata's took a shot from distance. Maybe should have played it in. They had a couple of men ahead of him there who could have probably turned in a better shot. But we've started well with Juventus as of yet, having not got anything on the board, as Bailly nods one into the hands of Rajkovic. Rajkovic clears it though. And that's the end of the highlight. Don't you love it when that happens? So Juventus corner now. Rugana nods it in. De Gea does gather it up though. Are we going to try and mount an attack? No. Twice it's done that to me in this game. Twice it's done that with the highlights. Pjanic standing over a free kick. He has put it wide. Not much in the way of highlights this game, guys. It has to be said. A little bit boring, a little bit backing and forthing. Juventus have managed to grab themselves a couple of shots, so it's half an hour in. But I'll be honest, we've not done anything. I mean, we had 5 shots 10 minutes ago in the game. So something has happened within the game to stop us. Unlucky Smalling, Rajkovic more than equal to Mata's cross. It's Alaba now. Alaba's coming in. It's Ibrahimovic. Will he... Oh, what was that, Ibra? We have won a corner, though. It's a deflected shot. As Mata now crosses one in. Martial's at the back post, but it gets cleared only as far as Sidibe now. Pogba. Still Pogba. Martial. No. What the fuck is going on with these highlights? Mata now to Pogba. Pogba on the edge. Will he have another shot? He does. Oh, it's a save. Gathers the ball up as Smalling came rushing in with 35 minutes gone. And it looks like we've started very positively, but we just need to grab a goal. We need to get something. Pogba now to Alaba. Alaba out to Sanchez. Sanchez on the edge again, and another save by Rajkovic. He's playing so well there, keeper. We've had 6 on target. He's managed to save 6 of our shots. As Smalling nods one wide. Poor header by Smalling, really, when you consider he was at the back post. He managed to put it all the way across the goal and wide. But Juventus now looking to try and mount something with Pjanic, Dybala, Sandro, Khedira, Pjanic, Dybala playing in Higuain. Higuain's got no one with him. He had to take a distance shot. No trouble for De Gea. And just on the cusp of half-time, I did pick up a couple of bookings with Sidibe and Ruben Neves getting booked. Now, I don't really want to get angry with them, I'll be honest. I'm going to calmly tell him I'm not happy with the performance out there. I want to assertively tell him to not get booked again. And I also want to tell Neves the same. Assertively, watch yourself so you don't get another booking. Straight back out into the second half. They're all fired up. We're playing well. We've got the best of the game. 63% possession against Juventus. It's ridiculous. But if we're not going to be able to put the ball in the back of the net at the other end, what's the point? Possession doesn't win your matches. It's Alaba now to Pogba. Alaba to Mata. Mata to Martial. Martial will turn it in. It's Ibrahimovic. He's done it. Finally. 11, 12 goals. We'll probably see in the news after the game that he's had a big drought, but he's managed to break it. Maybe after the little conversation, maybe not. Arriving at the back post. Maybe Zlatan can turn it back on now, because he has been quiet at the beginning of this season and I really want him back to his best. Age is a number. Zlatan will carry on and on. So his age isn't an issue. But if he starts losing the love for the game, that will become an issue. It's Sidibe now to Ibra, the goal scorer. Ibra's walking it backwards. He's got nowhere to go. He gives it to Pogba. Pogba will get a crossing. It's landed with Sanchez on the edge again. And Rajkovic has matched Renato Sanchez shot for shot in this game. He's had 2 that were substantially good shots. But the last one there was maybe a little bit poor. But nonetheless, you'd have maybe thought he'd have bagged them in any other game. Sandro forcing a save from David De Gea. Now, we're heading into the 60th minute, but I'm a little reluctant just yet to change anything. It's Mata with a corner. It's out with Regani now. Will Juventus fought? Yes, it's going out to Dybala on the left. This was my concern. Dybala cutting in. Well cut out by Smalling. Plays it into Ibrahimovic. And safety has it sorted. Now, Sidibe. Ibrahimovic out on the right. Still got the ball. It's a cross, but it was a poor one, it has to be said. So Sanchez on the edge again. Plays it to Pogba this time, but maybe he should have actually had a rattle there, I think. It's Sidibe again. Dybala whips in, takes it away from Sidibe. And again, I'm a little reluctant to change anything. We've been playing well. We've nicked a goal. And I just don't want to cock it up, really. Sanchez, Pogba. Loses out. Cuadrado tries clearing it to Higuain, but doesn't get anywhere. It's Neves to Sanchez. Ruben Neves now. Renato Sanchez into Ibra. Ibra plays it forward to Martial, who's been forced out wide. Sanchez with another shot, but it gets sort of lost in the gaggle of people that were stood in the box. 70th minute. Fitness becoming an issue with some places. Dybala scores a free kick. And I said it, didn't I? I said it. I knew he was going to score. There's a peach as well. Top bag is not the word. So I am going to try and make a substitution, but Pogba's the one on 69%. We will bring on Ander Herrera. And I'm also going to take off Martial. We'll bring on Memphis Depay. We'll confirm that, and I'm actually going to go for the game. Now, a point's a point, which isn't so bad, but we'll go attacking. We'll go to instructions. We want to go more direct. Okay. So the point's good enough. I do think that we can get out of the groups in Europe, but nonetheless, Ibrahimovic forces another save from Rajkovic. Nonetheless, we want to win against these big teams because it's arguable that we're going to play bigger teams if we get through the group. So let's try and instill a little bit of confidence in the squad at the start. It's Herrera now. Forward to Memphis. Memphis! Oh! That was probably the chance. 84 minutes on the clock when we did get that chance. Memphis maybe should have put us 2-1 ahead. What's done is done. We've not lost. It is the final highlight now. We should really win these in Europe, I think, at home. But I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I knew Dybala was going to score. And I knew that we probably had to score 2 goals to win. We didn't quite do it. So I'll assertively tell the guys that we should have won. They're all fired up. But more importantly, one matter, 6.5 is not good enough. Anyone else on a low 6? No. So yeah, a drab draw. So there we go, guys. I did say it would appear in the news after the game. It had been 13 since Ibra scored. So maybe now he can use that goal to springboard himself into a little bit of goal-scoring form. Because I tell you what, at the minute, we sort of need it. So there we have it, guys. This episode is over. I mean, we drew with a big club. Not too bad, but bearing in mind we're pressing on for the Champions League this year, so I really wanted to get a little bit more from the game. Didn't happen, not the end of the world. We can make changes. Changes may come in the form of our strike force at the moment because they just don't seem to be quite firing. We'll work it out, doesn't matter. So as I look at the schedule, what we'll do is we'll give a 3-game skip again. So we'll come back for Leicester, away from home in the Premier League. Off cam, I will play Bournemouth, Swansea and Olympiacos in Europe. That Olympiacos probably being an important win that we're going to need there to try and keep our head above water in the group. Confident we can do it though. So yeah, so if you've enjoyed tonight's episode, do hit the like button down at the bottom of the page there. It takes all of a second. If you're new round here, hit the sub button. If you are new round here and you're wondering, wow, he's 3 seasons in the description there you'll find the end of season 1 review and the end of season 2 review for a catch up. But other than that, guys, I hope to see you tomorrow night. I've been Teach FM and I'll catch you later. See you in a bit.